Welcome to the California Maverick, a channel fighting for a free and sane California. Oh, Gavin Newsom, the self-proclaimed best governor in America, leading what he calls the freest state in the nation, has once again signed off sweeping unconstitutional anti-Second Amendment laws a few days ago. He just signed 3 bills, and one of them is making major headlines everywhere. We got a lot to go over. All right, well, let's start with the big one. Assembly Bill 1127, the Glock ban, is the biggest anti-Second Amendment law signed in recent history. It essentially reclassifies Glocks as machine gun convertible pistols because of a certain trigger bar, the cruciform trigger bar, that could theoretically allow conversion into a fully automatic firearm, which is already illegal to begin with. You can't have fully automatic weapons or convert them. Only a handful of states actually permit fully automatic weapons. However, you need a special approval from the federal government, the ATF, to even get the permission to have it, making it effectively illegal to have a fully automatic firearm. This essentially bans all Glocks in California, and it's effective January 1st, 2026. Now, if you've already bought your Glock, they're not going to come in and confiscate them and take them. And retailers can still sell Gen 3 and 4 Glocks if they still have them in stock and still in circulation. However, they can't receive new inventory or sell new Glocks that come in. And I know the argument's going to be, see, Glocks aren't illegal. Right, and that's just a low IQ moving the goalpost argument, so we're not going to even address that, but I know people are going to say it.
The shooter used a Glock handgun modified with one of these, a Lego-sized so-called Glock switch that can be 3D printed to turn a simple handgun with a Glock design into a fully automatic weapon.
Assembly Bill 1127 by Assembly.
Now, Glock switches are already illegal, but Democratic lawmakers in California's capital want to go one step further, passing a bill along party lines that outlaws the sale of any new gun with a Glock-like design that can be converted into an automatic weapon.
Do you think that this really will motivate Glock to change its design?
We certainly hope so. They have known about this design flaw for a long time. They could help save lives.
Southern California Assemblymember Jesse Gabriel says the bill aims to force Glock to change its design so that Glock switches no longer work. California is the 3rd largest U.S. market for gun sales.
And now the distinction with the Glock gun is it's this, right?
The cruciform trigger bars.
Gun store owner Eddie Ford explains, unlike some other handguns, Glocks are designed to be customizable. He notes Glock has added this piece to newer models intended to block the insertion of a Glock switch, but California hasn't approved this model for sale here. And realistically,
it would take a pocket knife or a file, and it would take about a minute to remove it.
Why would a manufacturer not want to remodel these?
The model has stayed with the same design because of its ultra reliability.
He says California gun stores like his will keep selling used Glocks.
If Glocks are outlawed in California, do you think it's going to reduce the number of incidents where Glock switches are used?
No, ma'am, because there's still millions of Glocks on the streets. If criminals want them, they're going to get them.
Hey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It helps me out a lot and I will greatly appreciate it. Now on to the video. The most frustrating part is Glock is one of the most reliable, affordable, user-friendly, beginner-friendly handguns and firearms out there. It's great for concealed carry, it's great for women, and it's a great first-time handgun. And I think that's why they absolutely hate them. They're in the top 3 most popular types of handguns in the country and in California. And that's what these politicians and California Democrats do. They basically say to your face, we're not infringing on any gun rights. We're not infringing on the Second Amendment, while simultaneously doing things like adding a 21% tax on ammo and firearms. They add stupid regulations that make it difficult for manufacturers to produce and sell to California because the rest of the country doesn't require that. So they have to go out of their way, which is more expensive, to produce a specific handgun for California. So a lot of manufacturers just don't make that model in California. And if they don't comply and they do make that gun, they put it on this California California roster because the gun isn't safe enough and it's scary. And that's why they come up with these bullshit excuses like machine gun convertible handguns, which you can basically do with any handgun if you really wanted to. You think these criminals who obtain firearms illegally are going to say, oh shoot, we can't buy Glocks in California. Oh, and now they're considered a machine gun convertible? Now we really can't convert them into automatic firearms, automatic pistols. Darn, we're not going to do that. No, of course not. These people are still going to obtain guns illegally and they're still going to convert them illegally. That doesn't stop anyone. All this is doing is preventing law-abiding citizens from buying one of the most reliable, affordable, easiest guns to use to protect themselves against these people who obtain firearms illegally. Personally, my first gun was a Glock. I still have it. At one point in time, I didn't clean it for 4 or 5 years, took it out to the range and started firing perfectly. Great gun. Between my family and myself, I can't tell you how many Glocks we have. And aside from my active duty family in the military, do you know how many people we've killed with our Glocks or any of our guns? 0. And that leads me to the next bill, which is AB1078. AB1078 basically restricts you from purchasing more than 3 firearms a month or every 30 days. California tried to do 1 gun per 30 days, but that got stricken down as unconstitutional. So now they're trying 3, which I also think is unconstitutional, but we'll see what the Supreme Court decides. But what ties in to my previous point is the CCW restriction that now you cannot carry on public transportation. So 1078 makes it illegal to carry a loaded firearm on public transit, which is, in my opinion, one of the places you need it the most, especially in California. Public transportation is one of the most dangerous places to be without a firearm. And if you say no, you obviously never ridden in public transportation in LA or downtown Sacramento, because I have. And if that isn't enough to convince you, why don't you ask Irina Zarutska about how safe public transportation is? Oh wait, you can't, because her life got taken away. Why don't you tell that young lady and her family? And I understand that in this particular instance, it was in A, North Carolina, which is not California, but still a Democrat city. And B, there was nothing anyone can do. It came out of nowhere, came from behind, nothing. But wouldn't that incentivize you more to want to carry? Because what if you had a chance to protect yourself or even protect her? Wouldn't you want to have that option to protect yourself from this crazy lunatic who was released from prison 18 times or more? Wouldn't you want that option to be able to conceal carry? And when this piece of garbage human pulls out a knife, you can have your equalizer and neutralize the threat? I would argue that it's even more of a reason to be able to carry on public transit. And the irony about this whole thing, a lot of these politicians claim that they care about protecting the disenfranchised and the people of color and people who are most vulnerable. Those are the same people who are the ones that ride public transit, and they're the ones that are most in danger. You neuter and defund their police, and then you tell them that they can't carry to protect themselves. So now you're leaving law-abiding citizens and our most vulnerable in the most affected communities without any way of protecting themselves. And this is kind of a reoccurring trend with California Democrats and a lot of things, but particularly the Second Amendment. Just like firearms, we allow concealed carry. You're allowed to get your concealed carry. Oh, but you can't carry them at restaurants and bars. You can't carry them on playgrounds. You can't carry them in parks. You can't do it in stadiums. You can't do it in casinos. You can't do it at zoos or museums. Now you can't carry them on public transit. All the places where you need them the most, especially in rough neighborhoods when you have your kids there. That's why I got my CCW, so I can protect my kids and my family when we go out to parks or the zoo or a restaurant or anywhere. That's why I got my CCW, to protect my family. Here's my question. Do you think these criminals who have these illegal guns or carry guns illegally or obtain guns illegally are going to abide by your no gun zone sign? Do you think they're going to get a CCW and carry the right way? Do you think these people are going to care about your stupid permits and your stupid fucking signs? No, they're going to carry them anyway. Do you think they care about your stupid California gun roster? Do you think they fucking care about your 3 gun per month law? No, of course not. They're going to get their guns, they're going to convert them, and they're going to carry them wherever, whenever they want, and they're going to use them on law-abiding citizens that get their Second Amendment rights stripped away because of you. Once again, you gaslight people and you lie to them and you manipulate them. And then on top of that, you prioritize criminals over law-abiding citizens. And the last bill signed is Assembly Bill 704, which adds restrictions to barrels, requiring all sales and transfers to go through licensed dealers, which basically is being sold as some crackdown on ghost guns. In reality, it's just making it harder for gun owners and hobbyists to customize their rifles and Armalite and carbines because, you know, they're assault rifles and super scary.
I'm not anti-gun at all. I'm for just some gun safe common sense that I think vast majority of folks to the right and the left agree. And I think we've lost a little touch with some common sense around background checks. I think there's an age appropriateness and weapons of war that are out there, sometimes outgunning the police. But otherwise, man, people have the right to bear arms, and I got no ideological opposition to that at all. Deeply mindful and respectful of the Second Amendment and people's constitutional rights. But as it relates to just simple common sense around the idea we're addressing the issue of background checks, and we haven't fundamentally addressed some of those gaps for people that are struggling with mental health disorders and the like, or substance abuse. I just don't understand that gap. Because, the idea of, I think there's a cultural construct in California that people just don't want people running around with concealed carry. Folks you're running into in a restaurant or bar, or you're on the BART in Bay Area Rapid Transit, or you're in the school or in the playground, and everyone running around that's got a gun, and you don't know the good guys from the bad guys. I think there's just sort of a cultural mindset around that, a concern around that. We allow for it. There's a process. There's, law enforcement has a process. By the way, we exempt law enforcement from these gun safety laws in the vast majority of cases, along the lines of what you're suggesting as it relates to our veterans and military. There are exceptions to many of the rules that we advance. But on concealed carry, that's been a principle that we just believe in, a permit process that's, admittedly very comprehensive.
And it's what your state wants.
It's what the state, I think, overwhelmingly wants.
And this is what these California Democrats do, like Gavin Newsom. They lie, they gaslight, they manipulate, and they obfuscate. We're all for gun rights. We love guns. Guns are great. We're all for the Constitution and the Second Amendment. But simultaneously, they pass legislation that either makes it hard to exercise your Second Amendment rights by pricing you out, or coming up with random excuses that ban and restrict firearm sales in the state. And yet people in my comments a few weeks ago, I had to call this guy out, saying that I'm a liar and I push GOP propaganda. And here it is, the Glock ban. And the problem is that these people, after they're proven wrong, time and time again, there's no self-reflection. There's no looking in the mirror and questioning any thoughts or beliefs that they had before. It's just move on to the next thing. Whatever the Democrat politician is going to tell me, I'm going to believe it, even though it's constantly proven wrong, or just a complete and total lie entirely. I don't really know what the answer is to any of that, but I'm just going to keep on making videos. Every time these people comment, I'm sure there's going to be another video that's going to prove them wrong over and over and over again. And you can either choose to put your ego away, admit that you're wrong, and maybe rethink your positions, or don't. But if you don't, and continue to call other people blind and liars and propagandists, maybe you should take a good, long, hard look in the mirror and ask yourself this question.
Hands. Are we the baddies?
Here's a silver lining. It's not all bad. The NRA, the Second Amendment Foundation, and the Firearms Policy Coalition have already filed a lawsuit against the Glock ban, AB1078. They knew it was coming a long time ago. As soon as it was signed into law, the next day the lawsuit was filed, which is great. How long will it take for it to get reversed? I don't know. Could be a year, could be 6 months, could be 10 years. I don't know. But you have until January 1st, 2026 to get all your Glocks. As far as the other bills, it's just like everything else in California. They tell you it's available, they tell you can do it, they tell you you're free, but in reality, it's not true. It's typical California Democrat and basically liberal Democrat voters. They vote blue no matter who. They keep telling you that you're free and more restrictions equal more safety. But the truth is, none of these restrictions, none of these laws stop criminals from being criminals. It only makes it hard for law-abiding citizens to defend themselves and their families. And until people start recognizing that this isn't about safety and freedom, this state will continue to make things difficult for everyone who lives in the state. They will keep on forcing their control on you. They will keep on coming after your Second Amendment rights until you literally don't have any freedom, while simultaneously saying, aren't you in the freest state in America? If you like this video, leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.